Welcome back guys to the SSIS training session. I think it's the class 5, right? So in last session we discussed about the containers, control flow containers, right? And you can see I disabled everything. Now in this session we are going to discuss about the remaining tasks that are available in the control flow toolbox. If you see, you have a lot of items, and it's not like everything you are going to use on your on every project. Let's say active script task. This is mainly meant for migration projects. Like if you have any 2000 DTS package, the old version DTS package, if you want to migrate it, if there is any custom code written in DTS package, then you need this toolbox item, sorry, this task to migrate DTS 2000 packages. And if you observe, see, all this stuff like transfer database tasks, transfer jobs, transfer logins, or if you see backup of database and so on, you don't need it in every project. And there will be few projects where you will be using only 3 to 4 control flow tasks, not more than that. Like for each container or data flow task, and few cases execute SQL task. You'll be using very less control flow task compared to data flow one. So what I'm trying to tell here is I'm going to cover everything, each and every item. At least I'll give you the overview, what is the task is meant for, and so on. But if the task is not of high priority or not the one which is regularly used, then I will not cover as much as I cover for the other task in the control flow. First, let's start with one of the tasks which we have used while working with containers, that is file system task. What is that? Here it is. So what this file system task is capable of? Let's discuss all the options that you can, all the functionality that you can achieve using the file system task. So for all the tasks, on double click or on right click on edit, you will find the properties window where you can set the properties of the particular task. And this is the task, this is the file system task editor where you can set the properties. So the first thing is, for file system task, the first and foremost thing that you have to set is the operation. What you want to do with this using this file system task. What is your intention here? Let's say your intention is to copy a directory. You have to select this. Copy a directory means copying a folder from one one drive to another drive, or one folder to another folder, one directory to another directory. So copying the whole file. This is what copy directory will do. And copy file, what it will do? It will copy a file, whatever you are giving. Whatever you give here in the source path, the same file will be copied to the destination. The third option, create directory. That means it will create a directory with the name that you are going to give. And fourth one, it deletes the directory, deletes the folder. And fifth one, delete directory content. That means it won't delete the directory, it will delete only the content, that is the files that are available in the directory. Directory means nothing but folder, man. Okay. And sixth one, it's delete file. It deletes the file. Seventh one, move directory. It will move. What is the difference between copy directory and move directory? So copy directory, it will copy and paste. It will have the original there, and a new copy will be pasted to the destination. Whereas move, the source folder will be completely moved. The source will become empty there. You will not find the folder. And move file is similar to move directory, but not directory. It will be file. And finally, rename file. If you want to rename any file, you can make use of this. And yeah, as Shiva said, move directory means it's like cut and paste, whereas copy directory means it's like copy and paste. So these are the different options available, and I'm gonna cover a couple of items from this, and remaining you can practice at home. I mean, if you want me to cover everything, I can give you example for everything, but it's like both are one and the same. Let's say if I show you copy directory, that is very similar to move directory, and copy file is very similar to move file, right? So I'll cover a couple of items, and then let's see how it will be. First, I'll start with copy file, or let me start with create directory. So where you want the server to create the directory. So here you have to specify the connection where you want to create the directory and what is the name of it. So here select the create folder and go to browse. Let's say your intention is to create it in what is the desktop. I'm creating a file with this. Oops, it's already there. Let me take a new one. Okay, okay, and okay. Okay, and one more option, one more property that you need to know while creating the directory is use directory if exists. If there is already a directory, for example, if you are executing this package again and again and again, like monthly or daily or whenever the frequency you set, if the directory is already available, then what you have to do? You have to make use of this directory, else that create directory will fail. Already there is a directory, and if you try to create a new directory again, then what will happen is it will throw an error saying that the directory is already exists. That's the error message it was showing. Now let me execute this. I've executed, and it is successful. Let me see whether there is any directory called what the directory name I have given. So let's see where the directory is created. I have given the path as in the files, and you can see the folder is created. Now, if you rerun this package again and again, it won't make any change. Like it won't recreate it. If it checks whether it is there or not. If it is already available, then it won't touch it. Okay, it's already available, so don't create any directory. If it is not available, then it will create the directory. So that is how the task works. Now what I'm gonna do here is I created a directory, and I made sure that if the directory is there, then don't create, else create. And the second thing what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna loop through the files of a different folder to this particular folder. That means I'm gonna copy files from one folder to the newly created folder. So let's see how to do that. For that, I need a for each loop to loop through the files of a folder. I'm taking for each loop. After creating the directory or making sure that the directory is available, this will be hit. That is how I have given the workflow. And in for each loop container, I have to give the path from where I'm gonna get the data, get the files, right? So let me select some folder which has files. Let me check which has files. I think there is no such folder available. Let me check whether I have anything in this one. Is full. This is pretty big one, so it will be problem to copy. It will take a lot of time. That's what I'm thinking about. So let me quickly do create one folder with some files so that it will be easy, right? I'll create a folder. And I'll copy some files like this. Whatever the files that are available, I'm copying it into the folder. Okay, I have 4 files. Let me copy it and paste it again so that I'll get 4 more, 4 more, 4 more, and 4 more. Now I have some files in this particular folder called test. Now let me point to that. I'm pointing the folder as test. Okay, now star dot star, I'm gonna read all the files that are present in that particular folder, and here I'm getting fully qualified name. And let me go to the variable mapping. I need a variable to assign the path of the file that it is looping through. The for each loop will, what it will do, it will loop through each and every file that is available in the folder. So whenever it reads the new file, it has to assign to a variable so that I can make use of this variable. So let me define a new variable. I'll name it as path. This is string. Some dummy value I have given. Click on OK, and the value will be assigned to this one. Now what I have to do, my intention is to copy the file from source to destination. The source I am gonna get into the variable using this for each loop. The destination will be the new folder whatever I have created. So for that I need one more file system task. So I'm going to configure this file system task. Whenever it loops through each and every file in the folder test, whatever we created just now, and it will take that file and it has to copy to the destination. First, let me set the source. Where is the source? The source is in variable. What is the variable name? The variable name, what variable name I have given for storing the path in the for loop, in the for each loop? The name I have given, the variable that I have used is path, and I have set the source. And what is the operation? The operation is copy file. Copy the file to the destination. And what is the destination? Is it a variable or it's a path? The destination I have not moved it to, I have not given the destination into variable. So let me define the path. Sorry, it's not true, it's false. I have not passed the destination path into any variable, right? So let me connect it now. This test files is the folder, right? So I have set the test files folder. Now let me loop it through. Before going to that, you don't worry, I'm just checking one breakpoint. I'll explain. This will be covered as part of today's session. So the first step, what it will do is it will check whether the folder is there or not. If it is there, it won't create. If it is not there, then it will create. So it reaches the for loop, and for each loop, and for each loop will loop through each and every file that is available in the test folder and assign the value to the variable user path. Let's see. This is the folder from where it will read the files, and this is the folder, the destination folder. So for every time it loops, it has to copy one file, right? So it copied one file. So it looped one time, and if I click F5 again, or this run button, a continue button again, it will go on loop for one more time. And you can see second file copied, third file copied. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know how many are there. So I'll do one thing. I'll remove this breakpoint and I'll execute. So complete folder files are copied into the new folder, the destination folder, whatever we have given. So in this particular example, what I have done is just I have taken a file system task to make sure whether the destination, whether the folder is available or not. If it is there, it won't do anything, else it will create. And second thing, it will loop through each and every file that is present in the test folder and assign the file path to a variable that is user path. And inside this loop, I have taken one more file system task just to copy the file whatever that is available in the path that is assigned to the variable to the destination folder. It's copying. So it is just copying, and hence you can see the file will be available in the test folder as well as the destination folder. Now what will happen if I re-execute it? Let's see. See, it failed. The reason is pretty simple. You tried to copy the files again, but I have not selected override destination. The same file already available in the destination. So if I select true, then it will override and it will not throw any error. Else it will throw error because it is not, the same file already exists, and I am saying to the server not to override it. Now it is overridden here. This is the test folder and this is our test files folder. This is the destination folder. So this is about the file system task in which we have used create directory and copy file. Now instead of copy file, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the file. So once again I'm going to execute and just have a check. The test folder is having this data and the test files folder is having this information. What will happen if I execute it now? I re-execute it and it is completed, and you can see the test folder is empty. Why? Because it is moved the files. I set the action, the operation as move files. Instead of copy files, I set it to move files. That's why it has moved. It will do cut and paste. So it moved all the files from the source to destination. You can see the operation I set is move file. And this is the difference between copy file and move file. Copy file will just make a copy in the destination by copy paste, whereas move file it will go for cut and paste. And let's try copy directory, how it works. Okay, here copy directory means I have to provide the directory the directory path, not the file path, right? What is meant by copy directory? Copying one directory to another location, right? So here this path variable, what I'm getting, let me keep it as move file, and I will add one more file system task to demonstrate copy directory. After this for loop completes, it will come here, and here I'm gonna copy the directory. So what is the source? Which directory you want to move? I want to move these test files, the test files that is available in the test, and use directory if exists, okay, in the destination. Sorry, I've selected create directory. Thank you, Kanti, for finding out the issue. So what is the copy directory? So this is the copy directory. So this is the source I want to copy, and where I want to copy it. I want to copy it to desktop now. Earlier I copied it, currently the folder is in files folder. Now I want to move it to desktop. Existing folder, I'll set it to desktop. Okay. Now override destination. If there is a already file folder available in the destination, what you want to do? I just want to overwrite it. So now the operation here is copy directory, and what directory you want to copy? The test files directory I want to copy. To where you want to copy? I want to copy to desktop. Now let me execute it. So first it will check whether the file is there or not. It will, if it is there, it will not create, else it will create, and then it will loop through all the files, and there is no new file. That's why this task is not executed. All the files are already moved, right? And now this task, what it will make sure is it will copy the directory from files folder in the desktop, that is here, files folder in the desktop, to the destination. Oops, I've given it as copy directory, so it has copied the contents in the directory into the destination. So it copied all the files that are available in this particular source directory to the destination directory, whatever I have set. I have set it to desktop, so all the content has been copied to the desktop. I should have set it to the test folder. This would have been best option. Why? Because all the content will be copied into this folder, but by mistake I have set it to desktop. So let me change it to the folder that is empty now. So instead of desktop, I'm pointing to the folder test that is available in the desktop. Existing folder test. So now what it will do is it will create a new folder, and it will loop through the test folder and get all the files and move it to here, and then the content of the newly created folder will be copied back to the test folder. Let's execute this and check the output once. So now let me go to the test folder here, and you can see all the files are created. And now it will be very interesting. See, the same data will be moved there, and I'm moving back the same data. Here, this will not be the case in real time. Why I'm demonstrating like this is just to explain the different options that are available for file system task. So here I have demonstrated 3 different options, and let's see one more, and remaining things you can try it out, right? Let's see the delete directory option. Okay. For that, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take one more file system task, and I'm gonna delete the test files folder, the folder that I have created in the desktop files folder. So I'm gonna take file system task. After once the files are moved to the test folder, I'm gonna delete the old one, delete directory, and the path I'm setting is test files. So the test files folder which is available under files folder should be deleted after we execute this. So let me click on OK and let me execute it. Now the steps, let me explain the steps. First it will create a folder called test files in the folder files, and then it will loop through each and every file of the test folder, and it will move all the files to the newly created folder, and from newly created folder it will take back the files to the test folder, and it will delete the newly created folder. Let's see. And you can see the folder is deleted, right? This is the folder where you were having that test files folder. So that is deleted now. So this is how you can play with the directories or files. So this file system task is mainly for managing the files and the folders in your system. So in the same way, let me show you one more. Let me add one more thing, file system task, and let me give the workflow, the precedence constraint to this, and let me show you one more, delete directory content. Here I'm gonna delete the content of the directory. The directory will be as is, the content will be deleted. Let me show you how to do that. Okay. Sorry, I'm here to set the properties. This is touch screen, a little problem with this one. So delete directory content, and I have to provide the path from where I have to do that. So I'm gonna do that from test folder. I'll get some content into this test folder, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna delete only the files of the folder, not the folder completely. See, you can see the test folder, it's empty now. And if you want me to show whether this is empty, this is having any files before this task or not, then I have to set some breakpoint here. So first this will create folder, and files will be copied into this folder, and this one moves back the data to the test folder, copies back, and then the newly created folder is deleted, and the files in the test folder is deleted. This is the different task that I have defined in my control flow. Now I'm gonna use one more time for each loop. I copied the same here. Let me take it to the right side. Let me align it properly. Okay. This file system task also I'm disabling it. I don't want to delete the content of the folder. Here what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna loop through the items of the test folder. I'll have some data in the test folder by the time it hits this particular task, and I'm gonna delete file by file. I'm gonna delete file by file. Let me show you how I'm gonna do. So here in the file system task, in the for each loop container, instead of move file, I've copied it, right? So I'm gonna use delete file. This is the path of the file, and everything is perfectly set. Now let me open the folder. Okay, let me keep it open so that you can see how the files are getting deleted. Where is that? The test folder. So what I have done here is, here I'm looping through this folder, the test folder, and I'm getting the file name into the variable, just like I have done for copying purpose couple of minutes back. I'm getting the file path into the variable, and once I get that, I'm using file system task to delete the file, whatever the file that is available in the path specified in the user path variable. Now let me execute it and let me wait for it. See, it's going one by one, but it is pretty quick, so you're not able to see it, to be frank. Let me do one thing. Let me set a breakpoint, which will provide as an option to see whether it is deleting one by one or on the whole. Now it hits the breakpoint. There is a lot of data now. I'm looping it for one time, and you can see one file missed. Now 3, 4, 5 and so on is there. I'm looping for one more time. The file 3 is missed. One more time, 4. One more time, 5 should go. I think I didn't click it. 5. Now the copy should go. Now cover letter should go. So this is how it will loop through. I'm using a for each loop to loop through each and every file and delete file operation of the file system task to delete it. So this is how you can make use of file system task to play with the files and folders. Similarly, you have a couple of other options, like a very similar one, move directory, just like move file, which I have shown you already, and rename file. Let's see rename file, how to rename the file. So this is the file you have. You are going to loop through all the files in this folder, right? You are going to loop through all the files that are available in this folder. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to rename it. Okay, I'm going to rename it and copy it to the destination. Okay guys, now we are going to discuss about renaming of the file while moving to the destination. Let's see how we can rename the file when moving to the destination. For that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new variable. I'll name it as new path, and I'll take it as string, and by default let me set it to some test value or something like that. And this new path variable, okay, I'm making use of expression. I told you this has to be changed dynamically, right? I'm going to rename the file name. If I get file name as xyz.txt, then here I'm going to rename it to something else, something whatever it is routine, then to a new one. Let me show you. I'm going to make use of this expression to set the value for this new path dynamically based on the value that I'm going to get for the path whenever it loops through this. So here I'm going for expression, evaluate as expression to true, and in this expression I'm going to make a simple change for now. So this new path is equal to, this is the path, that is the default path, right? So here I'm going to replace dot text value. You know the text files will have an extension called dot text, right? I'm going to replace that with rupesh.text underscore rupesh.text. So what will happen is, if I get a file name like C, desktop files and so on to a particular folder, then I'm changing the file name from the existing one and concatenating underscore rupesh to the file name. I'm removing the text, I'm replacing the text.txt value with the underscore rupesh.txt value. For example, if you go to this folder which we are going to loop through, this is the folder which we are going to loop through. And if you see the files with the text name, this is the text extension. You will have text extension for MS Office -copy in brackets 2. So it will become underscore Rupesh dot text. After this name, it will be underscore Rupesh. And similarly, it will be underscore Rupesh for everything. Let's try to execute it once. And where this will be copied? Where these files will be copied? Any guess? I've given new file path. And where these new files will be copied? I'm asking you guys. I said I'm gonna rename the text files with some concatenation, and where it will go on copy. It will be copied into the same destination. Why? Because I'm taking the existing one. Let's say C users desktop / test folder / I'm taking test.text, for example. So what I'm doing with this variable, I'm creating a new variable using this variable, and I'm replacing .text with underscore Rupesh.text. That means it will become underscore Rupesh. So where it will be copied, where it is pointing to? It is pointing to the same old folder but with a new name, right? When I execute this again, what will happen? It will become underscore Rupesh. This is just an example I'm showing you. You can try it in different ways, like copying to the different folders, but you need to do some extra work for that. You will be able to do that once we discuss about expressions. Now let me first execute this, and let's see whether it will be successful or not. First of all, first one is success, blah 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 blah, and few things are failure. I think it's because there is no .txt in that or something like that. So let me see the folder. Can you see all the text files? It's become underscore Rupesh, right? I'm reading all the files. That's the problem. If I read only text files, what will happen is it will read only the text files and it will concatenate underscore Rupesh and it will copy to the same folder. Now let me do one thing. Let me stop it, and I'm gonna loop through only the text files. So how I can do that? How I can loop through only text files of the folder? So instead of star.star, I can give star.text. So I'm gonna get only text files in the loop. Let's see how it will become now. So let me remove this breakpoint so that it will be executed without any breaks. So now you can see Rupesh underscore Rupesh. And if I execute it one more time, you can see Rupesh underscore Rupesh underscore Rupesh. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the existing data, existing text files, and I'm concatenating underscore Rupesh. And if I execute one more time, what will happen? It will be one more copy. So this is how you can rename it. Okay. For renaming or for moving the files to the new folder, you have to make use of the option. What option? Gus? You have to make use of the option name and extension only, or name only. So you'll take only name and you will rename it and you will set it to the different destination, which we will be discussing very shortly after expressions. So this is about the option called rename. There is one more option, that is set attributes. What is this? What is meant by these attributes? So these attributes is nothing but whatever file or whatever folder you take, you will have these options, whether you want to make it hidden, or you want to set it as read only, you want to archive it, set it as archive, you want to set it as system to true or false. Where you can find it, let me show you. If you go to the properties of the file, you will have attributes, hidden, read only, and if you go to advanced, you will find some other. File is ready for archiving, yes, and compress contents and something else, right? System stuff. So you can set these attributes of every file. For example, currently it is read only. Read only is set to false, right? It is not checked. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna loop through each and every file. I'm gonna set the read only to true, and let's see what will happen. I'm gonna loop through each and every text file. Remember, I'm gonna loop through each and every text file in that folder, and I'm setting the read only property to true, and let's see whether it updates the properties or not. You can see the property is changed to read only. It is checked now, and you will find it only for the text files. Why? Because I am reading only text files in my for each loop container. So this is about complete, I can say, complete file system task, and you can try moving the files, copy the photos from your iPhone to your desktop, and you can play with it. You can move, you can copy, you can delete, you can create a new folder and move it to the, it's like taking backup and so on. In real-time scenarios where we need this is, you'll be getting files into one folder. What you have to do is you have to loop through each and every file, and then once the load is completed, each and every file will be copied to the folder called archive. Once it is copied, all the files are moved to the archive, then you will zip it and you will store it for future references. So this task really plays a major role whenever you are dealing the data from text files or Excel files or any kind of files. Okay. Now let's see about execute SQL task, the another task which we have used while discussing about containers. So this execute SQL task is mainly used to execute select statement and pull the data. Okay. I'll show you. See, first thing you have to first property that you have to set is the connection type from where you are gonna pull the data. You have 5 or 6 different options. One is Excel. You can pull the data from Excel, but I don't have Excel, I think. So I will show you how to write a select statement in an Excel. Let's say you have an Excel file, okay, and you have 3 different sheets. You know, right? What is meant by sheet? In the bottom you will have sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 and so on. So let's say your sheet 1 name is given as sales. The sheet 1 name is sales and sheet 2 name is products, sheet 3 name is customers. Okay. Now to read the data from an Excel sheet, what you have to do is you have to set this one as Excel and you have to set the connection pointing to the Excel. Once it is done, you have to write a select statement just like SQL Server. Select, start from what is the sheet name? Sales, right? Sales, and at the end add a dollar symbol. This is how you can write a select statement, and you guys just try it at home. I don't have Excel and I have little problem with that, so you try it at home. If you don't get the data into your Excel sheet, then let me from your Excel sheet, then let me know. Okay. And here, don't write like this. It is not the spelling. You have to write proper spelling, SCLECT. And you can use update and so on, right? Using the Excel sheets. I mean, you can update the data in the Excel sheets also. Just like you're writing select statement, you can write update statements. Update the sheet, whatever the sheet you want to update, and you will have column names. The first row will be treated as column name. So you can take the column name and you can try it out. And now I'm gonna use OLEDB connection. Why? Because I have only SQL Server database available. And let me connect using OLEDB database. I'm setting the connection to the AdventureWorks. It is already there. And here I'm selecting the data from, tell me some table, dim product, let's say. And let me correct it. Sorry. So select star from dim table. So these are the default properties that you need to set. And bypass prepare means it will check whether the query is correct or not. If you are having any parameters, then you will set it to true. Else, while selecting parse query means checking whether it is valid one or correct one. If you want to parse the query, that means there is no parameters and so on, then you can set it to false and click on parse query, and it will tell whether the query that you have written is properly proper or not. Okay. Now select star from dim product. As I don't have any parameters, I set bypass prepare to false. Now let me go to parameter mapping. This is of no use at this point of time. We will discuss it in a couple of minutes. The result set is important. So you will be getting data, right? You will be getting data when you execute this statement. This execute SQL task, what it will do is it will execute a SQL statement, SQL command, whatever the command that you're going to give, it will execute it. So if it executes, it will return some data in this case. Why? Because we are using select statement. So where you have to put that result, but it is disabled. How can you put where you are going to pull the data, where you are going to copy the data that you pull using the select statement? The result set is disabled. Why it is disabled? Any guess? Okay, good. Actually, I've showed you that, but you have not, sorry, you don't remember that. Fine, not a problem. So there is one more property here, the result set property. You need to set it. None means you're telling the server that it will not result anything. It will not retrieve any output. And if you set it to single row, you will get, that means you will get one single row. If you set it to full result set, that means you're gonna return more than one row. And XML means the return set is XML, the rarest case which you people use. So in our case, it is gonna return full result set. So now I have set it to full result set. And if you go here, now you can see this is enabled. If I click on add, here I showed you it should be set to 0, the result name, and what is the variable where you want to copy the result set. You'll be getting a table. What data type can hold the table information? Only object data type can hold the table information. So I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to name it as table data, and the data type is object. Okay. Now it is set. Let me check the variables once, whether it is whether the data type is set properly or not. Okay, table data object, and it is set. Now when I execute this, it will connect to the data source and it will execute the query, whatever the query I have given, and it will load the data into the variable that I have given in the result set. So this is how you can write you can execute a select statement. In the same way, you can execute insert statement, update statements, and delete statements. If you execute insert statement, what will happen? It will not result anything. It will be inserted. That means the result set will be empty. So in that case, what you have to select? It will be none. If you execute delete, it's the same case again. It will be none. If you execute an update statement, again it will be none. Right? So you can do anything of your wish. If you want to insert something or if you want to create something, you can write all those select statements or create statements or insert update statements here. Okay. Now let's see how to do it using some variables. It is not like every time you will return all the data from a table, right? You need to filter the data. So you can filter the data using where class. Where there is a column called product key, right? Product key greater than or less than 20. Okay. I've set a where condition where product key is equal to 20. Now it will return the result set where the product key, from the table dim product, where the product key less than 20, and it will assign the data to the variable that I have defined there. If you want to see whether the data is coming correctly or not, how you can do that? We can have a for each loop, right? We can use for each loop to loop through the variable, the table in that variable, and publish the data. So collection, what enumerator I have to use? We have to use ADO enumerator, and the variable which is having the table is table data, and rows in the first table will be loop through, and variable mappings I'm gonna assign that one to product key. I think this is integer. Okay, so I'm gonna get the value of product key. The index is 0 means the first column. The first column is product key, obviously in the dim product table. So it will be assigned to the product key. Now how can I show this? I can use a script task to show this variable in a pop-up message. Let me go to the product key. Here it is. I'm making it as read-only variable, and let me write a simple script to pop up what are all the records that are coming here. System dot windows dot forms dot message box dot show. I'm gonna use dts dot variables. What is the variable? us here prd key. It is user variable prod key. Close this. Dot value dot toString. I'm converting it to string. Now I'm just popping it up. Whatever the value that I'm gonna get into the product key, I'm just popping it up. Let me build the solution once, and if it is successful, then I can close this and click on OK. Now let me execute this and see whether it pops up properly. And my intention is to see whether the select statement is properly reading or not. The condition I have given is less than 20. 1 is there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. 18, 19, and 19 is stopped. Why? Because I have given less than 20, right? But the requirement here is sometimes it will be 20 and another day it will be 30, and it is not fixed. How can you handle that? If you want to pass some dynamic value, to the filter condition, to the where condition, then how to do that? You can use it. You can do it by using question mark. Question mark means it's a variable. The value will be assigned at the time of runtime. Okay. The value for the product key will be sent at the runtime. So to send at the runtime, where you have to have the value, where you need to have the value. To assign a value to the query at the runtime, where you need to have the value, you need to have the value in a variable. So I'm defining a variable. I'm setting it as count, and I'm setting it to, let's say, 10. Okay. Now this is the input. This is the number of products. Sorry, this is the value that I have to pass for the query. Where to the query, this one, select star from dim product where product key less than so and so. Now I have to map it. So this parameter mapping is for mapping the value of the variables to the question marks given here. The question marks given in the select statement. How you can give that? You have to add it. And what is the variable? Whether you have to select the variable first. So what is the variable? Count, right? So this is the variable which is going to pass. And what is the variable type? Whether it's an input variable or output variable. Output variable will come into picture when we discuss about stored procedures. And what is the data type? The data type is integer. So search for integer here. Can you see it anywhere? Byte, decimal, double, float, large integer, short, U large integer, Let me go with this one. And these parameters, this is the important one. You can see the parameter name, right, as the fourth column. The parameter names should be, yeah, you can go for numeric also. The parameters name should be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. It's not the variable name. Okay, it's a parameter name. Let me set it to numeric. So it should start with 0 and it will go one by one. Okay, if I have more than one question mark, like where product key less than question mark and product key greater than question mark, then the second question mark will be second parameter. I'll show you that example also. So I'm getting the value from the user count and I'm placing it as input to the query, and that is the data type. And for zeroth parameter, what is the zeroth parameter? Zeroth parameter means the first question mark. Wherever the first question mark comes, that's the zeroth parameter. Now I have given it as 10, right? So let me execute it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and gone. So the input variable is taking. Now what I'm going to do here is to demonstrate the parameter name here, to explain the parameter name in detail. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give where product key less than 10, less than question mark and product key greater than another question mark. So I have two question marks here. One comparing for product key less than and another one comparing for product key greater than. So now I have to map the second parameter also. But do have any parameter to input that? I don't have any parameter. So let me create, I don't have any variable to input that. Minimum value is the variable I'm going to create, and I'm going to give the value as 5. So in the parameter mapping, I'm going to use the second variable, that is whatever I have created now, that is minimum value. Let me expand this a bit. Minimum value. Okay, and it is input. Let me set it to numeric, and this parameter name will become 1. Remember, this is how the parameter name will goes. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Depends on number of question marks that are available in your query. If you have 10 question marks, you need to pass 10 values. Okay. Now click on OK. The query will become select star from dim product table where product key less than 10 and product key greater than 5. So how many records will be read? 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 4 records should come as per the query, whatever we have given and the parameters we passed. You can see 6 is coming, 7 is coming, 8 is coming and 9 is coming. After that, it is saying the package execution is completed. Why? Because that is the values that we have passed for the parameters, to the query through parameters option. So similarly, you can use this execute SQL task for many other things like I'll show you an example. I'm not going to show you an example. I'm going to show you query simply. I don't know how many columns are there in a dim product table. Insert into dim product table. I can give values, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Sorry. If it is having, let's say 10 columns, you have to give like this. Right? You can pass the values also. If you are passing the values through variables, then you can write query like this. And here what you have to do, you have to declare you have to add values for each and every parameter that is defined here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there are 10 to 11 question marks given here, and hence 11 parameters needs to be mapped using the variables. It will be 0, it will start from 0 and it should be the same, like remember 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can make it as 1 and you can make it as 0. The order can be anything, but whatever the sequence, Like 0 will be assigned to the 0. The first parameter will be assigned to the first question mark. Second one will be assigned to the second question mark. Third one will be assigned to the third question mark. So this remains the same for everything. Like for a OLEDB connection, for Excel connection, for ODBC, and only for one thing it changes. Even I don't remember it. Let me do one thing. Let me do a quick Google. Parameter mapping in execute SQL task. And in real time, people will be using hardly Excel and OLEDB, not more than that. In SSIS 2008, map parameter queries with variables and so on. Yeah, here it is. You can see this is how you have to give. For ADO connections, it will be question mark. For ODBC, Excel and OLEDB, it will be question mark. For ADO.NET and SQL Mobile, it will be @parameter name. You can give some name like @product key or @product name, some parameter name. And while assigning, here you can see the example. Select star from product where product ID greater than so on, product ID less than so on, so. This is how we have to define in Excel, ODBC and OLEDB connections. And for ADO, it will be select star from product where product greater than question mark and product less than question mark. This is also the same. But here for ADO.NET, you can see where product ID greater than @product minimum, some variable name, some parameter name, and here some other parameter name. And when it comes to mapping, I showed you, right, for Excel and OLEDB, it should start from 0 and it has to go for in sequential order like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. But when it comes to ODBC, it will be 1, 2, 3. It starts from 1. That's the only difference between ODBC and OLEDB. And the third one for ADO.NET and SQL Mobile, you will be defining some parameter name, right? The same name should be given here in the parameter mapping. And for ADO, it will be param1, param2, param3 and so on. You have to give in this fashion. So this is just for your information. As I told you, people will be using 90% of the cases OLEDB and the remaining cases it will be Excel. At least Rupesh used in such a way. Okay. This is just for information sake. And whenever you use only ADO connection, then you can use stored procedures. People, you don't know about stored procedures, right? Let's cover about this in the later sessions of later part of our sessions. Execute test to stored procedure. Let's say this is the stored procedure name, test_sp. So if it is a stored procedure, you have to set it to true, saying that the statement whatever I have given in the SQL statement is a stored procedure. Okay. Now let me set the connection and let me show you an example. I'm connecting to ADO, to the same database, AdventureWorks dot AdventureWorks TW. And guys, don't worry if you don't know stored procedures. Just remember the concept. That's it. I don't know what stored procedure is available there. Let me try whether this SP is there or not. For sure, it will not be there. And there is no parameters now, so let me remove it. And the result set will be moved to this table. I think I'll get an error here for not having the stored procedure name. That's the error. Yeah. So I'll do one thing. I'll check any stored procedure is there or not. It will take hardly 1 minute to create a stored procedure. Let me try that to make you understand. Stored procedure is nothing but a pre-compiled code which can be executed. It's a very big story. We'll cover the stored procedures later, not in these sessions, right? So create procedure test as, guys, correct me, I have not written any stored procedure in recent past. Select star from dim product where ID product key less than 10. Is it correct syntax? I've never written. Okay, fine. So this is the stored wizard, and you can execute the stored wizard just by executing the name of the stored wizard. Let's see. And you can see it is returning top 10 records. Sorry, top 9 records. Now I'm gonna use the same stored procedure in this particular script, execute SQL task. So I'm giving execute test. Test is the stored procedure name. Let me pass it. This is fine. Now let me execute it. So what it will do is it will go and hit the stored buzzer and it will get the data, but in our case it is not getting. Let's see what the error is. Okay, I think I fixed that issue. Let's see whether it reads the data and loops through the. Oops, it is not valid number of results binding return to the results row set. And just what I've done is I've just set the result set to none, and I'm executing it, and we'll continue from here in the next session. Okay, so the execute SQL task here, it is getting successful, but whenever I set it to some result set, then it is showing some error. I need to find out. Okay. I'll get back to you on that, and tomorrow we'll continue the session. Why? Because it is very, very late to the people in UK. It will be almost till 2 a.m. in the morning, 2 or 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And sorry for the delay. And guys, before coming to the next session, practice whatever we have discussed in today's session. And in next session, we'll be discussing about expressions and the remaining toolbar, control flow items. Thank you very much, and have a nice day. Good night, guys.